Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
The Iliad Heroes of Troy is a small box card game, and one that I don't think very highly of, to be honest. It feels like they had a game, or they wanted to base a game on Iliad, so they put this little game together to make it work. I feel like, and I'm not a scholar in Iliad whatsoever, but I feel like this is about as paper thin to Iliad as you can be. You're going to be playing cards to match factions, icons, and you will score points, hopefully more on your turn than your opponent is. That's really what it comes down to. Very easy to teach, very almost gateway-ish type of game here, almost like a mass market game. It kind of feels like something you would play with a playing card deck, like a 52-card deck or something. Not very interesting or very compelling, to be honest. I didn't find interesting decisions that I was looking for in a game of this magnitude. And the theme, which I was rather excited about, kind of fell through for me. So this is definitely a try before you buy. I didn't find the theme very compelling with what you're doing. It doesn't fit the mechanics at all. I didn't feel like the game itself was strong enough to overcome that lacking thereof. And I don't feel like any decisions I made during the game were compelling enough to me when to come back to play this game over and over again. Unfortunately, definitely a purge for me. Here's Iliad Heroes of Troy. It kind of comes in a nice little magnetic box. You're going to have a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to have some of these really cheap little cardboard tokens. These aren't very good at all. It is what it is. And then you're going to have a deck of cards. Now, these cards are going to feel pretty good. There's not a whole lot of them in here, as you can see. This is all it is. And this would be a reference sheet for all the little icons. We'll get to that in the flow of the game. But as for the cards themselves, they're a little thin, but the artwork is amazing. I really do like the artwork in this game, and I wish it was attached to a little bit better of a game, to be honest. These icons over here that are very, 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 very small are very, 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 very important. And then it has some flavor text at the bottom. It doesn't really mean anything, but these things, king, strong, charismatic, they all do mean something. So, I do like the artwork. Kind of wish the artwork was bigger. I wish the icons were bigger. I almost wish these were tarot-sized cards, just for this game, because the artwork is so amazing. Card's a little cheap. I think maybe something didn't fund on the Kickstarter enough or something, because it just feels a little cheaper. So this is kind of how the rulebook comes. It just kind of folds out. You'll notice right off the bat, there's no starter page, like no artwork whatsoever on this. And this is probably where you want to start on the overview, but it kind of, maybe it opens like this? I don't know. It's super weird how it goes through. Components are listed here, nothing set in stone. The back of it kind of gives you the traits that'll be right here. These are super important, but you'll have these cards here that are probably better because it gives you the icons also. But this doesn't give you the icons. This isn't very useful. This will be a lot more useful as you go through. The rule book is okay. I was able to read it and understand the game pretty good, but without pictures or examples, it really felt better to kind of take the components out and start moving them around. So the flow of the game, you're going to have the God faction, which is only used with a 3-player game. Otherwise, you're going to have the Greeks and the Trojans, and you're going to have these all mixed up together, and then you'll deal a number of cards to each player, and you're going to discard a number and then keep some. So in a 2-player game, everybody's going to deal 12. You're going to get rid of 3, and you're going to keep 9. So that will be your starting hand. The top card of the deck will be placed down. I'm going to kind of zoom in on this, because this is going to be the entire game that you're going to have here. So this card will start out. So on your turn, you're going to play a card. Now, whether this one says Trojan, so it doesn't matter if you're a Trojan or not. Let's say I'm Greek, then this will score points for the Trojans. This would probably be a bad play for me. So what you're going to do is place this here. It matched the faction, which was Trojan underneath it. So that's 1 point right off. And for each matching icon, that's 1. So I got 1 for the matching one, 2 for this, 3 for this. So the Trojans will score 3 points. That's good if it's me. So then you would get 3 of the victory points, and you'd have that out. That should be bad if I was the Greeks. But then you get a tough, warrior, or pious. That's the 3 words that are on there. So I'd look to the player aid, and I would say tough. You or an ally draw 2 cards. Or I could do pious. Gain 1 point to choose a player to draw a card. Or I could choose warrior, and opponent loses 2 points. So I would choose one of those traits, and I would do that. And that's pretty much the game. So let's say the Greek player goes next. Did not match the faction, so Greek does not score a point for that. And the icons do not match here. It's a little horsey at the front, so it did not match. And you go through and you gain points for that, and you get to pick one of the powers that are listed on these. Some of these are draw a card, then play another card. You might steal a point from an opponent, that kind of garbage that you would have in a game. But that's how it plays out. Whenever a player runs out of cards in their hand, they're going to score a victory point. You score points for all the special cards that you have. Whoever has the most points will win a round, and you need to win 2 rounds in order to be the winner of the game. That's how you play. Very simple. Who should buy this game? Maybe for the strongest fans of the Iliad, you want a game based around it. Maybe there's only 4 or 5 of these games made that aren't like historical war games, I guess. So you're limited here. If you're not really a gamer, but you like the Iliad, maybe this will be light enough for you to enjoy. The character names are here. That's about it. Maybe the faction icons make sense. Not a whole lot here to pull into. Not really sure this is for anybody who isn't a huge fan of the Iliad. And matter of fact, this game has already been lost to time, and it's understandably so. Purge for me.